Hello and welcome to the Keyboard Road Warrior with me, Movie Scouse 007, where we play Euro Truck Simulator 2 with a laptop and a keyboard. We reached Nürnberg at the end of that the last journey. We are still level 34, but I would imagine that we'll probably level up to level 35, or if not, we'll be very close to it by the end of today's journey. So, first things first is to explore Nuremberg, because it's what we would have done had we not been so desperate for time at the end of the last journey. We ran out of time, and so because we were on an urgent, tight delivery. So what we're going to do is we're going to explore Nuremberg, collect all of these roads. So we'll do a little loop and then a big loop. We'll pick up the garage at Nuremberg. We will then do this loop, and we'll come back to this repair yard and repair and rest and recuperate. So that's what we're going to do. So first things first, left turn, and then we'll follow the road until the second right, I think. Oh, no, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do that. So we're going to blow through these red lights because, quite frankly, I can't be bothered waiting. Alright, but we are going to take the next... Is this a red? Yes. Ah, crap. It was a red, it's now a green. So I'm now stuck behind traffic. Excellent. So I should have just waited. Ooh, easy. Right, so yes, Nuremberg, or Nürnberg, or Nuremberg. Actually, it's probably pronounced Nuremberg, but it's spelt Nürnberg. Is probably most famous for post-World War II trials of the Nazis, for the war crimes trials. It's probably famous for other things. It's almost certainly famous for other things domestically, but internationally, it's famous for the war trials, for the war crimes trials. Let's get the bigger loop. We will pick up the Nuremberg garage, and we'll upgrade it. And I'm sure we might get some fuel while we're at it. Because we're at half a tank, and the beauty of having a city centre garage is that we get to put fuel in our truck. Oh, blimey. Whoa, Nelly. Oh, that's a depot. That's not... Right, hang on. Let's check where we are. Right, okay, we want to take the second right. So here. Yeah, I'm not worried about the parking offences. That's not our concern. Right, there's our garage right there. Ooh, we had a bit of a stutter there. I think we passed it. That won't be recovered. I do a lot of that missing junctions. Right, it's £144,000, so let's pick that up. Right, yeah, we're done. Right. Oops, sorry. I keep pressing escape, and I should go to G. Nuremberg. So, oh, Hamburg. We haven't upgraded Hamburg. Alright, so let's upgrade Nuremberg. Actually, no, let's upgrade Nuremberg, and then we'll upgrade Hamburg. And that's our garage in Hamburg. Right, go back to Garage Manager. For some reason, Hamburg is still small, which means that we wouldn't be able to get petrol there. And I don't mind. Hello. Hello. Okay. Right, so let's just double check that all of our garages are large. We haven't missed one. No, that Hamburg one was the only one we had missed. Right. Alright, okay. Let's get some fuel. My computer seems to be having a lot of problems lately. I think it's being overworked. It needs to shut down. I haven't given it a rest for quite a while, so engine off. I've been catching up with the editing and uploading of my my videos, and so it's been on permanently for quite a while, so it probably needs a bit of a rest. That was quite... oh, cracky, I forgot to say how much that fuel was. I think it was £468. Right, so let's plot our next bit of the route. So we'll do a loop, and then we'll turn up here. Actually, no, do a loop, and then we'll do a loop round to catch that last little bit of missing road. And then we will make sure we exit via that road. So left, and then follow, left and left again. And hopefully... Oop, just made it. Right, so we'll collect this last little bit, then we will go and fix the truck, and we will recuperate. And we will then get ourselves some gainful employment. No doubt that this will be the depot that we go down, so it might be that we're wasting our time, but you never know. Oh, there is sort of a city centre garage there. I know that a lot of... Whoa, what the hell am I doing? Okay, that was bizarre. I don't know what the hell was going on with my brain there. I've noticed that ProMods have been putting garages inside the cities. Let's check the map again. Immediately left and then double right. I was concerned I was going to hit that barrier. I've got to get my driving under control. I am a little bit kamikaze at the moment, which might explain why I've had one excellent in the last sort of 15 journeys. Alright, here we are. That's that last little bit of road discovered, and we are ready to enter. So let's see what this 9% of damage is. Okay, engine 5%, £1,027. Transmission 3%, £390. Chassis £1,978 for 9%. Cabin 7%, which is £3,922. Oh dear. And finally, wheels 2% for £234, which means our repair bill is a total of £7,552. But given that we are whisker over £9.5 million, I think we're all right. We are half 500,000 from 10 million, which is probably what we would have been before we bought the garage and and performed the 2 upgrades. So let's rest. Alright. Oh no, I don't want the radio. I keep doing that. Right, let's rest. Nope. Ah, damn it, I think it's gonna be night time. Oh well, right, okay. So the first half of the journey, well, most of the journey probably on this one is going to be at night. Let's get ourselves some gainful employment. Where are we going from Nürnberg to? Right, so let's, where the heck are we? There's Nürnberg. We've been to Helsinki. We've been to Gielo. No, we haven't been to Gielo. We've been to Flensburg. Doesn't look like we've been to Flensburg. That's a relatively short journey for quite a good reward. Kalmar is the new city in Sweden that they added with update 1.6. Gardermoen we've definitely been to. Angers is... yes, Angers is one of the 2 new cities in France they added. Mannheim we've been to, but no, I think we will go to Flensburg. It's a 13-hour journey. It's Gielo, 26 hours with a... Let's go to Flensburg. I'm looking for a short journey. I'm tired, and I could do with a relatively short journey. So let's set that as our GPS, and let me get my screenshot as per. So Nuremberg, boom, and voila. Okay, let's go pick our load up. Okay, engine on. And I think this is a tight deadline as well, which is why it's so much money for such a short journey. And I would say, oh God, it's that dreadful bloody... Ugh, I hate these. I hate these depots. I always manage to clip my truck on them. No, I didn't this time. So, let's take the job. Let's go pick our load up. And this is it here. So I think it's pressure tanks. Alright, we're hooked up and ready to go, so let's swing ourselves around and get out. So here we go. I want to talk about why history is important today. The main reason I want to talk about this is there has been a study done in several countries over the course of the last few years, talking about... let's check the map. Yeah, we're going to take a left and then a right because we want to get that little bit of road that we missed. There's been a study done about what students know about relatively recent history, in particular World War II, and the results are quite horrifying. We're only, 39 to 45 World War II was, we're now 2014. It's not that long in terms of historically. It's not that long. Hang on, God, I've lost my place again. Okay, no, we're good. We can follow the road now. And students do not understand what it was that so many people gave their lives for. So many people sacrificed. So many countries were. They don't understand what occurred. And it may be that a whole bunch of people that watch this video don't truly understand what happened in the early 20th century, and why it's so important that we never forget the sacrifice made by the millions of people. and what a terrible sacrifice it was, but why they felt that it was worth it, and why they felt they needed to do it. Oh God, I really thought I was going to clutter something there. I thought I was going to blow the condition of the trailer in the first bit of the journey. Right, so yes. In order to talk about World War II, you've got to talk about World War One. World War One was a terrible political disaster, foisted upon the world by a bunch of agreements made with each other. Austro-Hungary was an empire that was in decline. Its power and influence was almost at an end. It had an agreement with Germany, but the Balkan states wanted independence from the Austro-Hungarian Empire, and the Archduke, the son of the head of state in the Austro-Hungarian Empire, and his wife were assassinated by a Czech group called embarrassingly enough, the Black Hand Gang. Sounds like a kid's treehouse group, but they were almost as ineffectual. I mean, they had a number of attempts at it, and it was only, I think, the third attempt at it on the same route of the same journey. The guy finally shot and killed the Archduke and his wife. The Archduke wasn't particularly popular. He certainly wasn't popular with his father. He was a bit of a layabout, but apparently he was a lovely man to his wife. You know, I don't think it's necessary to understand what happened. I don't think in order to understand what happened with World War One, it's necessary to fully understand the Archduke. But maybe I'm wrong on that. I don't know. But the assassination caused the Austro-Hungarian Empire to enact its agreement with Germany, sort of a pact, a protection pact from the Balkan states that the Austro-Hungarian Empire assumed this was a first move in a step towards independence. Germany wholeheartedly agreed, primarily because they believed they could use it as an excuse to recover territory lost to France. And so that's what they did. In addition to going east, they went west. And France had a pact. It sounds bizarre to some ears and not to others, but Britain and France had an agreement. And given that Britain and France only 100 years before had been in several decade-long wars, it sounds a bit bizarre, but we had an agreement with France that we would help them out. So we did. Now, the World War II was World War One. Was a war with an awful lot of technological advancement. It was probably the first war almost certainly was the first war to use aerial reconnaissance and aerial bombardment. It was the first war to have aerial combat between nations. It's most famous for trench warfare, but in reality, most troops didn't spend their entire time in the trenches. They would be in and out of the trenches. Conditions in the trenches were undeniably atrocious. But the biggest problem was that it was a 20th century war being fought using 19th century methods, walking slowly across an open field to be cut down by machine guns. It was the second war, I think, to use the machine gun. I think the first was probably the Crimean War. That is a story for another day. A story we'll go into, given the given that Crimea is a bit of an issue at the moment. I will go into the Crimean War and what that meant and what it was about, but we're talking about World War II, and in order to understand that, obviously, as I've said, World War One. So, Germany were responsible for a world war that didn't need to occur. I mean, they didn't need to go west and to try and claim territory from France. That was completely out of their remit with their protection agreement with the dying Austro-Hungarian Empire, and it would have been better for the entire planet if Germany had said no to Austria. In all likelihood, it certainly wouldn't have led to a world war. Problem was that Germany ended up losing World War One, and then Britain, France, and a few other countries took revenge on Germany in the most stupid and horrendous way. They gathered together to punish the nation of Germany in a manner which, it has to be said, was almost as vile as the conduct of the war, and actually did as much harm to Britain in short term as it did to Germany. The Treaty of Versailles pretty much condemned Germany to penury, to rampant, horrifying inflation, the like of which meant that if you went into a cafe in Germany, the price of your coffee would be higher between you ordering it and you receiving it. I mean, that's how rampant the inflation was. It was a horrible situation, and the German people suffered terribly. But the British people ended up suffering. Coal from German coal mines ended up coming to Britain, which ended up putting British coal miners out of work. Because why would we need to pay for coal when we were getting it free from Germany? Why would we need to pay miners in the UK when German miners were having to provide coal for us? It meant that Germany, all of Germany's resources were leaving Germany. They had nothing, and it pushed the German people into the arms of the utterly despicable Austrian genocidal maniac Adolf Hitler. Now, Adolf Hitler was an embarrassing little puppet of a figure, but he was an excellent speaker. Politically, he was an idiot. Militarily, an absolute idiot. But he was such a persuasive speaker, so energetic and enthusiastic, and so full of promises that the German people wanted to hear, that they voted him in his party into office. Once in power, he then enacted his disgusting, disgraceful hate crimes against the Jewish, against the Romani, against artists and intellectuals, and against people, homosexuals. Now it seems it's horrifying to us now, because we live in the 21st century, where most countries have laws that enacted that guarantee same-sex marriages and same-sex rights. But in the early 20th century, homosexuality was considered a crime in most of the Western world. And it was certainly considered a crime in any state that was run on religious grounds. We were still in a time when most people believed in God, that atheism was even more of a minority then than it is now, and there were no protections for atheism, no protections against, no protections for the homosexual community, no protections for any minorities. In the UK, it was quite acceptable for, if you had a room to rent, to put no blacks, no Irish, no Jewish on the card that you put in the newsagents to offer the room out. That seems horrifying to me now, that you could discriminate against people because of their colour, of their skin, their nationality, or their religious beliefs, or lack thereof. It just seems horrifying to me now. But that was the world they lived in. So, Hitler is allowed to enact all of these things because he starts building the German military-industrial complex in contravention of the Treaty of Versailles, which expressly forbid Germany from having a military, expressly forbid them from developing weapons. But so desperate were the German people for employment, so desperate were they for food, for the inflation to go away. I mean, the Reichsmark, the German mark, was it was utterly worthless. It wasn't worth the paper it was printed on. They were in the same situation that Zimbabwe is in at the moment, where they're having to print notes with so many zeros on it that it was laughable. So Germany then decides to enact an agreement with Austria. It merges its military with the Austrian. Well, essentially, it takes over. It was a friendly takeover. The Austrian people were as much strife as the German, and Hitler was an Austrian. So Austria and Germany kind of became one country, Germany. But then Hitler decided he wanted to enact this program called Breathing Room. I forget what it is in Germany. What it is in German. But it was called Breathing Room, and they started to invade countries on the borders of Germany and Austria, Czech Republic, and then Poland. They invaded Poland, and that was the final straw for Britain. That it seems a bit bizarre, given what an empire Britain had at the time. We ruled lots of Africa. We ruled the whole of India. In fact, what is now India, Pakistan, Nepal, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka. That was all considered India under the British Empire. We had Australia and New Zealand. We still had Canada. So it seems bizarre that Britain would consider the invasion of a sovereign nation a crime, but yes, we did. They prior to the invasion of Poland, the then British Prime Minister flew to Germany to get a pact, non-aggression pact, signed, what they called appeasement, and it was moderately celebrated in Britain because we didn't realise that Hitler was perfectly happy to sign documents, and then as soon as the document was out of the room, completely ignore what it was that he'd agreed not to do, and then go ahead and do it, which is exactly what he did. He went and invaded Poland, and the Prime Minister gave him the opportunity to withdraw from Poland. The Germans did no such thing, and then there's the famous address. Britain has required Germany to withdraw from Poland. No such undertaking has been received, and as such, Britain is at war with Germany. Famously, the then Prime Minister wasn't considered up to the task of leading Britain during World War II. So during a world war, Britain changed its leadership. So this is something the Americans need to learn. America decided not to vote George Bush out because this bizarre need not to change presidents during war, which is just bonkers. I mean, It doesn't make sense to me why you would think that it's fine to keep an idiot in charge of your nation just because you happen to be at war. Britain didn't. We decided that the chap in charge wasn't up to the job, so we wanted someone we believed could do it, and that was Winston Churchill. Winston Churchill then reorganised. He created strategies. We did a few things which I'm not proud of. The French had a fleet in the Channel, in one of their Channel ports, and Britain required the French to give up that fleet, and they said no, so we destroyed it. What we didn't destroy, we took. We just didn't want Germany getting a fleet in the Channel, which could then be used against Britain, and given French fighting record at that time, it was considered prudent. I mean, we would never get away with it now. It would be the sort of thing that you couldn't do now, but at the time, I think almost everyone but France and Germany and Austria thought it was a good idea. And the French, as they were quite naturally entitled to think that's their navy. They're entitled to win or lose with it as they see fit. But our borders were at stake. Our survival, our freedom was at stake, and so Winston made the terrible, terrible choice to bombard and destroy the French fleet. Actually, Britain also destroyed the Italian fleet. It was all in one place, and we sent a bunch of biplanes with torpedoes and completely destroyed the Italian navy when they were part of they had a pact with Germany and Austria. Yeah, under Benito Mussolini. So, World War II was just a land grab for the Germans. It was a land grab for the Germans, which cost them. But the terrible, terrible truth is that they could so easily have won, and they were so close to it. They made a number of disastrous decisions, which ultimately cost them. The first disastrous decision they made was to change their bombing tactic in Britain from airfields to cities. Had they stuck to bombing RAF airfields, then the Battle of Britain would have been won by the Luftwaffe and not the RAF. That was caused by an error. A German bomber accidentally bombed London because it got lost. So, as a measure of retaliation, the RAF bombed Berlin, which incensed Hitler, and so he decided to destroy the cities. They also tried to destroy our manufacturing plants in big cities like Bristol and Liverpool, Newcastle and Sunderland, in London itself, but they also bombed cities just because. And it was the first disastrous decision they made. Had they stuck to their first target, which was the RAF bases, they could have crippled the RAF's ability to combat the bombing, and then they could have bombed wherever the hell they liked. The second disastrous decision that they made was to go into Russia. When the greatest military mind of the 19th century can defeat the Russian army and still lose in Russia, you need to take a hint. The Russian people will starve themselves to death if it means that the opposition starve too. They're quite happy to sacrifice millions of people. And it should be pointed out that yes, the terrifying genocide of the Jewish people, the Romani people, gay people, was horrifying and terrible. 6 million Jewish people, I can't understand the level of hatred you have to have in order to decide that killing 6 million people just because they are different from you is okay. I mean, that just doesn't make sense. But I'm treading familiar ground from earlier in this video. It should be pointed out that the Russians were prepared to sacrifice 20 million of their own people during World War II, a figure that just boggles the mind. The planet reached 7 billion people, and I think in 2012 we reached 7 billion people. Now, we were nowhere near 7 billion people in 1939 or 1945, and there was a bit of culling done. But it just boggles the mind. It really does boggle the mind. 20 million people. The Russians were quite happy to shoot their own people. They were quite happy to sacrifice millions. I mean, they were probably directly responsible for as many deaths as the Germans were during that period. They were. If anyone's watched the film Enemy at the Gate, you'll know the beginning of you'll remember the beginning of the film, where in Stalingrad they would go across on the boats, and one person would get a gun with ammo and one person would just get ammo, and then when the person in front of you with the gun got shot, you picked up the gun and you used your ammo. And if you decided to retreat, they had a Gatling gun ready to mow you down as a sort of an incentive to go and kill Germans. I mean, that staggers me, that they think that's okay. That's just staggering. Actually, I probably should have had my rest. Hang on. 5 hours to go. Yeah, I should have taken a rest break there. Where's my next rest spot? Oh, God, not for ages. Crap. Yeah, I probably need to do a U-turn. Although we know how disastrous my U-turns are. Yeah, I can't do a U-turn. I do need to pause in 10 minutes though, because I'm going to run out of battery. Not battery, memory. But so this is a war that was brought on by another war, it was brought on by the horrifying stupidity of the victorious powers. I mean, that thankfully I think is a lesson that's for the most part been learned. Not entirely. If the Americans had taken that lesson to heart in Afghanistan when they helped the Mujahideen, if they had helped the Mujahideen in Afghanistan rebuild their country, build hospitals, schools, restore electricity and water supplies, I'm pretty sure that it would have been much harder for the Taliban to take hold. Once the Russians were out, the Americans abandoned Afghanistan like a giant smelly turd, which was a colossal error, which ended up biting them in the arse. Oh, there must be a rest stop somewhere. There has to be, because I am going to run out of. Ah, yes, there is one. It just doesn't pop up until there. It's before Kiel. Right, okay, so I've got to keep an eye out. So I've got 4.5 hours of journey left. I've got 16 hours to do it, so I've got bags of time. And I should be able to make it to that rest stop before I run out of memory on my crappy iPhone. Oh, I'm so excited about being able to put this footage on a capture device, a video capture device, rather than recording it with a phone. Obviously, the improvement in the graphics will be minor. The improvement in there'll be no improvement, in the graphics, but the video quality, the image quality will be a vast improvement for you guys. Of course, that will go up again when I get my Uber computer. But we won't be abandoning the keyboard Road Warrior completely. We will go from 3 times a week to once a week. That is the future of the keyboard Road Warrior. once we've got the Uber computer. Once I've got my PS4, I intend to start recording games from my PS4 as well. So the channel is going to expand from just what it is at the moment, which is trucking. I have picked up Car Mechanic Simulator, and I think that I might try... Whoa, Nelly, that was lucky. I might try recording a few episodes of Car Mechanic Simulator to see how that goes. I've been enjoying the Squirrel's Nuts version of it, but I'd like to have a go and see if I can present an alternative view, and just also to demonstrate that this game doesn't have to be played on an Uber computer. Squirrel plays his on quite a fancy computer with quite a fancy graphics card. It looks okay actually without the graphic. On this, I've played it. I've done a couple of repair jobs with it, and it's quite amusing. So I'm probably going to do a few episodes, put them up, see if anyone views them. See how that goes. Alright, you are slow, my friend. And of course now you're picking up speed. Oh, that's fine. You didn't crash into me, so that's good. Right, where's this rest stop? We're still away from it yet. So we're all right. We haven't had the red. We haven't had any. Whoa. We haven't had any yawning yet. We haven't got the red bed on our GPS, so we're okay just now. Look at that. We're at 10.5 million peeps. It's probably going to jump to 10.6 in our rest break. That's cool. So our drivers are starting to improve in their abilities. So each of them is generating considerably more money, which means that we're earning more money every hour. Which means that we've got more money to play with. I am now at the stage where I am going to start upgrading the lorries in the fleet. I think I will upgrade one at a time. We'll see how much it costs to fully upgrade one of these Volvos. What we'll do is we'll give them the full 750. We'll give them the XL. We will give them the retarder transmission, and we might give them the more stable bogie on the back of the tractor. We'll see. But I will upgrade one and see how much that costs. And if it's less money than if upgrading 5 would be less money than I'm earning in a single journey, then I will upgrade 5 at a time. Because we now have quite a bit of money, and I'm comfortable that I will be able to buy garages, upgrade them, and keep pace with the vehicle upgrading. Right, here we go. This is a rest stop. Oh, excellent. It's just a roadside rest stop. That's cool. Right, so I'm going to get some rest here. I'm going to upload the footage, and then I will do the last tiny little bit of the journey, and I'll be back in a moment. This is going to be quite a short video in comparison to all my others, so I'll see you in a moment. Alright, we are fully rested and ready to go. So let's get back on the road. We are very close to our destination. In fact, yeah, we're 2.5 hours away. So this is going to be a very short video by comparison to my recent ones. In fact, I think this is video 88. I think video 86, which I edited this morning, it failed to play because I think it's too long for Movie Maker to process. I'm going to have another go at it, processing it in one piece, because I prefer these things I know they're huge and long, and that might be a reason why they're not getting viewed, but I'm very reluctant to break these things up into multiple parts. I don't know why. Anyway, but I'm going to have another go at it with less stuff running. I had a bunch of stuff running which might have impacted on it. With less stuff running, I'm going to have another go at it. I've managed to get quite a lot of my videos up on YouTube. I'm almost caught up with my editing. I'm only 2 videos behind. So I'm driving Journey 88, and Journey 85 is up as a private video on YouTube, ready for me to change it to public at the appropriate time. So that one is almost 3 hours. This one is probably going to be an hour and a half, I would suspect, if that. Anyway, so to round off what we were talking about, World War II. World War II was a global conflict. It impacted on almost every country in the world, and in fact battles were fought in most countries of the world. I think very few countries escaped without some kind of conflict. I think New Zealand escaped, but Australia was very briefly and futilely attacked by Japan. The US, in fact the Americas, was unscathed as well, which is why many Americans still wonder why they got involved. Well, I'll tell you why you got involved. You'd have been dealing with dictatorships if you hadn't. So that's why you got involved. Yes, I just remembered that I've been worried in previous videos about any damage to my truck, and I'm aware that we are within a whisker of getting our butts to our destination without a scratch. And I'm just waiting for the shoe to drop for me to cock up and crash into something. I know it's going to happen because, well, it's me. Right, let's... So, it was a global conflict. It affected everybody. There's almost no country, even the countries that didn't, whose territory wasn't invaded, ended up sending troops. New Zealand sent troops, Australia sent troops, the United States sent troops, Canada sent troops. Don't know about South America, how involved South America were, but although it does have to be said, South America became a popular destination for Nazi war criminals to run to, given that Europe and North America had no extradition treaty with those territories. And in fact, in a couple of famous cases, Nazi war criminals were abducted from South America and taken to countries that did have an extradition treaty. But it was a terrible conflict. My country, the United Kingdom, sent hundreds of thousands of men, many of whom never returned home, many of whom died, never seeing their families again, never seeing home soil again. In fact, some of them never came home. There are fields in France full of British troops that never returned home, whose bodies, whose remains have stayed in the country in which they fell, or the nearest friendly country. There are many soldiers who died who remain unidentified, which is a tragedy, but it's possible that we could DNA test them. There is a tomb of the unknown soldier in most Western countries that were involved in the conflict. Britain has got a tomb in London. I think the United States have a tomb in Washington, where one unknown soldier gets interred as a reminder that how terrible these conflicts are and the terrible price that can be paid. Alright, we're going to join this road. So got to be careful. I don't want to go too fast. This is a narrow slip road with a relatively long cargo, and as is always the case, damage can be done. Right, I'm going to actually stop. Given that I've got so close now, I'm going to actually come to a halt and check that the traffic's not coming. Oh crikey, that road sign's annoying. Excellent, he's letting me out. So, after this car, next car. After this car, we can go. Please don't crash into me, anyone. Please don't crash into me. I'm so close to an excellent Flensburg, a brand new city. Awesome. More discovery. More new roads to explore, and a greater percentage of that road discovered. My aim at the moment is 60%. That's my short-term target. I think we were at 54 point something the last time I looked. So let's just bring that thing down so I can look at the map. So we are at 56.3%. Oh wow. So yes, I can do a couple of loops and get this. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a couple of loops and we'll see whether it screws me up or not. Actually, it's just out of interest. Let's look. It's going to take 3 minutes. We got 2 hours. Oh, hang on. What was my plan? Yes, my plan is. So Flensburg's discovered. What we don't want is to see any overhead roads. That would be sad. We want all of these to be controlled by traffic lights. So oh curses, there is an overhead road. Overhead roads mean that we won't might not be able to make some of the turns we want to make. Ooh, there's a discoverable. I can see a discoverable. We might not get it straight away, but there is a discoverable, which is great news. So we're going to explore Flensburg. I've not been to Flensburg before. I don't know. Have any of you been to Flensburg? Have you given it the full once over, as I'm giving it now? Ooh, gosh, I was worried about that. I'm getting worried about running red lights at the moment. You have to have a good view, make sure that there's nothing coming before I power over. Right, yeah, we have a green light, that's good. Right, let me just double check. Yep, that's good, we can follow that round, and then hopefully yeah, we can take that back, we can go on there, and yeah, we'll do the big loop first, and then we'll see where that takes us. But I want to get as much of this, because this is a relatively short journey, I want to get as much of this done. Yeah, I mean, if this is the sort of thing that bores you, then feel free to fast forward through this bit. Until I get to the depot. I will not be upset if you don't want to see Flensburg, but I quite like getting the full city exploration. I like seeing the cities. I think it's a good idea to get the full view of any place you're going to. I think it's good to know which cities are easy to circumnavigate and which cities require a bit of thought. So we know Flensburg requires a bit of thought because right, let's check our map again. Yeah, we're going to follow it all around. That's cool. Yeah, squeaky bum, squeaky bum. Ooh, we're going under the road this time. That's fine. Alright, that means we can't access that road from here. That's fine. I'm going to take a left in a minute. Ooh! You might have got away with it. Right, so we've done that loop. Alright, I'm going to follow this road round here and then get this little bit here. It'll get us the discoverable, sorry. I think we're okay to blow through this one because I don't think anything's coming. So you're getting the full works, the full tour. Although this is the second time we've been down this road. No, I'm not happy about going through this one. I'm going to because the gap between here we go, we're good. The gap between the red light and the safety of the other side is too large for me to be able to safely get across without necessarily getting crashed into by fast-moving traffic. So I think we're okay to turn left in a moment. Yes, there's a red light. And there's a gap, which usually indicates that we're good. Right, quick sip of coffee. Gosh, always when I pick up the coffee, I am held up. Oh, you could have gone then, mate. Go on. Oh, I'm going to have to wait. Excellent. Alrighty. There's our discoverable, and it was a DAF dealership. Okay, that's fine. Where are we? So we'll follow that round, we'll go back, and then we'll come back and do that. So let's follow the loop round and then turn left. It's interesting. And we have to wait for the traffic. Right, okay, we're good, we're good. Let's hope that this loop takes us where we want to go. It may not, we might. Oof. Oh, we're going underneath that big road, that's cool. Right, I'm going to take a right here. And we can go straight away, that's good. Oh, across the pavement, that's not good. Right. Let's see the crazy route it wants us to take. Hang on. So, we'll follow it and then we'll blow past. We'll do a U-E and come back, hopefully. I think we're probably alright to take this one. Oh no, actually, we've come. Where are we going? Oh, that's alright. Actually, yes. We're going around that way, and then we'll take the left. Oh, no we're not. Oh, crikey, I've done it again. Alright, we are in an eternal loop, which I want to get out of. So, okay, let's see if we can take a right here. And actually, let's get that garage, because there's a garage in Flensburg that we can buy. I think that's it there. Yeah, that's it there. So what we'll do, as we normally do when we've got a load, is we unhook and then buy the garage, and then we'll rehook and then we'll upgrade it. So let's spend the £144,000. That's cool. Right, let's back up. Alright, let's go to Garage Manager. And where's Flensburg? Flensburg, boom. Upgrade. We now have a petrol station in Flensburg. Yeah, that's lovely. Right, so that's ours. We need to turn left at these traffic lights. Is that right? No. I think we can turn right, but we need to make sure we turn left. Otherwise we'll be stuck on that bloody loop again. Oh, no. Yep, I think we can't. Let's just have a look. Yeah, we can't. This is where I was getting stuck. I was turning left assuming I could then turn right, and you can't. So excellent. I'm going to turn left. Right, let's check the map again. So we're going to take the next right, and then I get that tiny little bit of road, and then the other bit of road that we haven't got is an access road to Flensburg, so we will get that on the way out. Or if we can't get it on the way out, we'll get it on the way in. Right, this is the right we want to take. And this is the last part of the road network, the last part of the internal road network. Alright, now we're going to have to do a bit of a loop to get back to our destination of our... and it's not giving us a route yet. Come on, come on, we're not going back. Show us how to go forward. There we go, there we go. Right. Nice and easy. So we fully explored Flensburg, we have picked up the garage, we're now about to drop off our load, and all is right with the world. So, I think I ran out of time. It's such a massive subject. I think I ran out of time before I could come to a sensible conclusion about, and I never really touched on why we can't forget. But, oh, no, I thought he was going to let us out, but he's not. But they are. Oh no. Come on. Well, at least the car was nice, even if no one else was. The car was good to us. Right, let's do a full loop. Okay, and then can we get this in one go? Can we get this in one go? Oh, no. I think we might. No. No is the answer. Oh no, we did. That's dreadful. That's appalling. Look at this. That's awful. But apparently that's good enough for the game. So it's good enough for me. So out of reverse, handbrake on, engine off. Are you ready? Do you know what I think has happened? I think we got... Excellent! That's our first excellent in quite some time. It was a short journey, 529 miles, 21 hours and 16 minutes, 294.3 litres of fuel used. We got a base reward of £18,468 and 852 XP. We got a proficiency bonus for level 34 of £9,418. A long distance delivery bonus for skill rank 6 of £1,798 and 213 XP. A high value cargo bonus for skill rank 6 of £5,396 and 153 XP. We got an urgent delivery bonus for skill rank 5 of £4,497 and 255 XP. We got a proficiency bonus for parking the trailer of 45 XP. Do you know, I forgot this was an urgent delivery, and all that faffing around in Nürnberg could actually have made us late. It's never occurred to me. So, our total reward for this journey was £39,578 and also 1,518 XP. And we made it to level 35. We are a level 35 elite. We just crossed the border. We probably into level 35. We probably fell over the line, exhausted, and sweating. So, this profile has a lifetime experience of 134,071 XP, and our new target for level 36 is 140,500 XP. That was a pretty good journey. It was relatively short. I made it a little bit longer by exploring Flensburg, but that was much more fun for me than it probably was for you, given that I get excited about not crashing, and it's probably more entertaining to watch me crash than it is to watch me not crash. Sorry I never really came to a full conclusion on that whole World War II thing, but history, you need to study history to learn from history, otherwise you are doomed to make the same mistakes. But anyway, the same mistake for me is to waffle on after I've finished a journey, and I'm not going to make that anymore. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe so that you don't miss out on any future journeys. If you have friends who may be interested in this, let them know. You want to say anything to me? Go ahead. I can't promise I will reply. I do this in the few spare minutes that I've got, and what spare minutes I'm not doing the journeys, I'm editing them or trying to upload them. But thank you very much for watching, and until I see you, hopefully, in the next video, I'll see you on the road.